You know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I thought I would give you an installment of the Cafe Gallery or the Cafe Poetry readings, how it would start at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays at the Cafe and on Wednesdays at Gallery Cabaret, and how sometimes at Gallery Cabaret there wouldn't be enough people at the open mic yet, so I'd started early by reading something from a recently released Scars Publications book. I also had a penchant for starting the open mic at the cafe when it was weekly by reading material from new books that had come out. I thought that in light of the fact that we are all in quarantine right now, that I can reinstate that idea from starting in 2020, running them either on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So I thought I would read some poems to you before the actual open mic would normally actually start. I was going to read for you some poems from a section of the Down in the Dirt issue collection book that is titled Late Frost. And Late Frost was for, I believe, September through December 2020. And it has different issues highlighted from Down in the Dirt magazine. And I was going to read select poems from the Pipe Dreams section of Down in the Dirt magazine, which I don't know what volume that was. That was the November issue, I believe. 177, maybe? Not sure. But you can find information about Down in the Dirt at scars.tv/dirt online, and you can find information about that issue, Pipe Dreams, or this issue collection book, Late Frost. It seemed appropriate if it's January and it's so cold, and I'm even wearing a fuzzy green sweater for the occasion, that I would read to you some poems from that section of the book for you. First one I'm going to do is a poem that is a short one. I would explain to hosts like Australian-born Austin resident Tom Woodruff how if there was a piece of prose in the book and there wasn't much room for a piece of artwork or whatever, but there might be a room for a tiny little poem, I would put that in there, including ones that have Instagram images that are also appeared on Tumblr and Pinterest and Twitter and Facebook. So I was going to share with you one short one that was in the middle of this section, and it was called Ever Since My Childhood. When I was little, I learned of Anne Frank. Ever since then, ever since my childhood, I've lived so afraid that someone's always coming to get me. Short little piece that was after a piece of prose in this book, but I thought I'd share with you from the Pipe Dream section a few poems that would appear in the back of that section for you. And this first one I'd like to share with you was written on National Authors Day, which is November 1st. So enjoy that for your history lessons or your calendar year. This is called Oh, the Book is Better Than the Movie. Spotlights are on the entranceway. Paparazzi are lined along both sides. A stretch limo pulls up, finally stops. As the car door opens, flash bulbs already start popping for whatever new illustrious writer will emerge. In our now instant-moment gratification society, we idolize pop actors, pop stars, actors, and sometimes even the occasional sports figure. Illustrious award ceremonies gratify these actors who temporarily play characters an author created. Oh, they created these things for book pages, but no one is ever in their instant-moment gratification society paying any of those authors much notice, even though they are the ones who got those characters in your head. Oh, the book is better than the movie. It is heard countless times. So why isn't the author more revered than these temporary actors? They make the real difference. They create what you love. They should have the red carpet rolled out, for they deserve the world, for they make it better. This next one I'd like to share with you from the back of this section of the Down in the Dirt issue collection book is titled Vessel to Spread the Word, which was written on the 5th of November. On the birthday of an American poet, Ella Wheeler Wilcox. She was born in 1860 and she died in 1919. So, just so you know, bit of history and poetry and such. This is titled Vessel to Spread the Word. I'm just a Midwestern girl, but I learned, even at an early age, that getting along with your fellow man is seldom the solution because it's never enough. So I've learned in time to be positive. I have to be, but I also have to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves to make life better for all. So let me poetically be a vessel to share the way the world should be with the rest of the world, because maybe after people hear my words, maybe then people will begin to realize that love and positivity, that good will spread more wildly than hatred or discontent. Now, after reading my poems, spread the word. This one, is a poem that was written on the 8th of November for the 7/15 birth date of Elizabeth Christine of Brunswick. And she was the longest serving queen of Prussia. What? Freaky. I'm just blown away by this. I hope the lighting is okay in this library, and I've got a light flashing on my book, which I think is shining right up in the bottom of my face, so I feel like I'm telling you a ghost story. I have no idea, but we'll see how this works. This is called Otherwise Reign Supreme. Stuck in my head is the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and the scene where a father arranges a marriage for his son, but his prince rejects it for Crown Prince Frederick of Prussia, who in 1733 failed his attempt to flee his father's tyrannical regime, was ordered to marry a woman, Elizabeth Christine, with his choice arranged by the Austrian court to secure their influence over Prussia. Yeah, unlike Monty Python's Holy Grail, where the prince, in being rescued, tried to escape his tower, this Prussian prince relented. But on his wedding day, he spent 1 hour with his 17-year-old bride before walking outside alone all night. He obviously wanted to be free of this woman, and most women, as he never cheated on her, so they spent most of their time apart. Elizabeth Christine was at first so distraught that this prince couldn't return her affection, but she learned that since they were now married, they could ask anything of the king and remain comfortably secure until the king's death, which made her queen. When her husband, now king, didn't want the tedium of being king, he just decided to let her rule. This situation was starting to suit her fine. They now lived separately, and since the ceremonial court life didn't suit him, that he left all that up to her, and that suited her just fine too. He could come to occasional functions, but otherwise, Elizabeth Christine reigned supreme, just how she liked it. Because during the 7 Years' War, believe it or not, he remained absent, while she was a symbol of Prussian resilience. Wow. During her reign, she authored several works, some based on the passing of loved ones, and they were included in the libraries of the kings. This woman also gave more than half of her income to charity. Prussia's Elizabeth Christine, their longest-serving queen, found out how to take a situation that no one wanted and turn it into a life where a woman could make a real difference, which is what we women all do to this day. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think, how many would I like to read for you? Maybe 4 more for you guys for this reading in honor of the cafe and the cafe gallery. This It was a poem that was written on the 7th of November on and for the 1867 birth date of Marie Curie. I got you some science stuff. This piece is called Open the Door for All. Born in Warsaw, the youngest of 5, she did well in school, but it didn't matter when women were not allowed higher education. Undeterred, she even made deals with professors to work there for free, so she could also illegally go to school before schooling in Paris. While there, she found her love in Pierre. They married. They each gave each other bicycles as wedding presents, while she wore a black dress to her wedding, so that dirt wouldn't show when she went back to work. And work she did, separately from Pierre, until she discovered radioactivity, and Pierre put his pride aside and worked to help his wife. After his accidental death, it was a heartbreaking loss for her, but she took over his teaching post, making her Sorbonne's first female professor. She discovered radioactivity, but also a new element named for her home country. And in World War I, she developed a portable X-ray device that they nicknamed Little Curies. The Great War didn't get her, but her love of her studies did. And working with radiation so long and keeping vials of radium in her lab pockets daily would be too much, even for her genius. People truly admire Albert Einstein, whom she worked with, but for women and for all humankind, this woman faced more obstacles than most and opened the door for all. And it's so totally true. When I've learned things about periodic table poems, I learned all about not only her curium, but also about radium, and it's absolutely fascinating. In fact, back in the day when I was doing open mics at the Cafe Gallery, I did a couple years where I just wrote periodic table poems, and every feature find was only periodic table poems. So I can tell you a thing or two. If you want to go check out the periodic table of poetry, you can find stuff for every element, even when some of them still didn't have a name yet. But anywho, these are poems that were read from the Pipe Dreams section of the Down on the Dirt issue collection book, Late Frost. How perfect for nice winter time and January readings for you guys. I would like to read another 1, 2, maybe 3. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, maybe 3 more. This poem is called Just Too High for Just One Man. And it was written actually on the 9th of November. And that was Carl Sagan's birthday. It's Carl Sagan Day. So if you want to know something about Carl Sagan, here you go. This is a short poem for him. It's called Just Too High for Just One Man. The truth is out there, they say, and sometimes the only way to find it is to start searching for yourself. Thanks for darkness, for the darkness around us is deep. Thanks for wide-eyed wonder, for chaos and disorder proves that this is heaven, and heaven is an initiation. The universe is a wonderful thing, and some believe that in space there has to be intelligent life out there. I will join you in the darkness, join to dance in my private place, so it is not so in this not so private universe. So, SETI, start searching for signals. Let's shoot a gold record out into space so others can know humankind. We do it because we can, and there are a few who understand. Time flies with nothing to lose. It's a lofty goal, one that seems just too high for just one man. It's true, but every miraculous journey starts with one man, with one idea, to share that idea with the world so everyone who feels so alone can know that they are not. Because even scientists, cosmologists, are dreamers. So let's dream together. This is fun reading and sharing these with you. I hope that you guys appreciate this, and I hope that everyone is remaining poetically inclined in these times as I'm doing an early reading in honor of the cafe's readings on every Tuesday, or the cafe gallery readings I would do on Wednesdays in Chicago. I'm going to share with you 2 more poems maybe. This first one of these last 2 is called Evolving with Mutant Genes, and it was written, for the 1850 date that Charles Darwin published his book, The Origin of Species. So, check this out. This is called Evolving with Mutant Genes. When, with a bunch of men riding their motorcycles north of Chicago, I asked one man if I could ride in the back of his Honda Goldwing. The Dutchman, Van, said, "Okay, but I usually don't let Dutch women ride along if they're not blondes with blue eyes." And I got so mad, so angry. I was nearly yelling, "Look, my Dutch roots go back to my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather born in 1767, and all of my Dutch family that I've ever known, all have had brown hair and brown eyes. So don't you dare tell me us Dutch people have to have that recessive gene." And, of course, I rode along on the back of that bike, but it made me think about what traits we genetically carry from one generation to the next, and how it defines how we live, who we like, and how we carry our genetic genes from one generation to the next. Because, as far as I know, genetically, we humans all started with brown hair and brown eyes, and I wonder if this is why I fall for blue eyes so much. Because, as I said, genetically, we all started out with brown hair and brown eyes. So why did it all get so messed up with this blue-eyed thing in the first place anyway? Well, scientists just recently discovered that the melanin in our brown eyes may have varied over the years, but only about 6,000 to 10,000 years ago was there a mutant gene. A mutant that was responsible for producing melanin in this human eye. Yes, only a few thousand years ago did some mutant genes come along to see if this was something that we could work better in our lives in the human race. Because sometimes that's the way genetics works. Some weird mutant gene happens once to see if it works well for the species. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, which may account for why not all humans are now blue-eyed. It may work for some areas of the world, but not for all. So this mutant blue-eye gene didn't catch on worldwide. Which may be why I'm so attracted to that mutant gene, something not so common. But don't worry, the stronger genes will survive over generations. I've learned that too, as we all have, and becoming stronger and better is, well, that we've ever done before. That's what this whole species, how this whole species even works. Forever changing, forever evolving. That's what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am going to share with you one more poem that was actually written on and for Thanksgiving, I believe. And it is titled, Yes, for Our Future Too. During this autumn, I have been following the news for the Voyager 2 satellite, once traveling to see the solar system's moons of the gas giants, but now that the deed was done, it's continuing its travel into interstellar space. A true Voyager indeed. The satellite has just now traveled through an 89,000 degree Fahrenheit wall of plasma that surrounds the edges of our solar system. Although this low density heliopause is low density, it's still like a wall of fire. Something that we're actually seeing for the first time in our history, where we wait for the first reports back from our Voyager to tell us what we're in for. Which I suppose is not entirely unlike Christopher Columbus traveling for Spain when discovering the New World to Europeans. So historically, we look back fondly on a meeting of new peoples to share with others and give their thanks for our survival. I'm sure that's probably not even close to how it went back then. But we stupid Americans have convoluted this gathering to a chance to get together and be thankful for everything that we've had after harvest is complete. And in our monetary world, we then make it a gluttonous festival before the gluttonous season, preceding a day that some historians chose to be the day of the birth of their savior. As a rule, I shy away from this holiday. I don't know why. I think it's just another reason to relish in eating a burnt dead bird and wallow in one of the 7 deadly sins. But hey, isn't that what we Americans do? Forced to live through this day, I remember our pioneering spirit that brought us here. But I'm also forced to remember some of my own hellish past that has brought me to my one true love, which forces me to be thankful for what brought me this love, for what we have, and yes, for our future too. I believe there's so much more that I've got to do. And for this, I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was the end of my reading of poetry from the Pipe Dreams section of the Down in the Dirt issue collection book for September through December of 2020 that is titled Late Frost. Perfect for reading for you in January. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Maybe in the next week or two I might do one more reading of material from this book, since it's winter and it's January and I've got ice on trees for my front cover of my book for you. I hope everyone is, I'm going to kill that light. I hope everyone is remaining safe. I hope everyone is remaining poetically inclined. And the personal message that I would give to everyone when we're in these pandemic times, in these quarantine times, is that this open mic was always a space that welcomed everyone, and that you were free to talk and share about whatever you wanted. I believe only once did we have to kick someone out, and they were stalking their ex-wife, and we had to ask somebody to leave. But beyond that, we welcomed all, no matter what they had to say, poetically or otherwise, on a stage. And that is the one thing that I would stress about this open mic, that we always welcomed everyone, and that you were appreciated and loved for your ability to create and for your ability to share. So I tell people during these pandemic times that if you are feeling down and out, or you don't know if you can take it anymore, if you can't stand being at home trapped anymore, I wouldn't know what that's like at all. But if you feel lost, know that even as we're isolated, that you're not alone, and that you are loved, and that we'll all get through this. So I want everyone to stay strong, be good. If you want to know anything about Scars Publications books like Late Frost, anywhere through Amazon, you could look for Late Frost, Down in the Dirt, Scars Publications, to find this book. Or if you go to scars.tv, you can find a search and easily get access to this book there. And you can also find out about the literary magazines, Down in the Dirt, scars.tv/dirt, or CC&D magazine, scars.tv/CCD. And you can become a part of the movement with us as well. I hope everyone remains safe, and I hope everyone knows that things will get better and that they are all of you are all appreciated and loved. And be good, stay strong, and I will talk to each one of you very, very soon. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.